Hello and welcome to the Scatterable channel, and today let's go over how I would build a custom PC for local AI and LLM work. Whether you like it or not, AI is becoming more integral in our everyday workflows, whether we're wanting to do simple questions or get some complex tasks for work or university. So why not build a PC that can run AI locally on your own terms, on your own machinery, your own hardware, with complete control over your own privacy and security, all with not having to pay a single dollar in subscription fees. So my goal in this video is to detail you guys what is the best sort of PC to build for local LLMs and other AI suites and features, all the way from picking the right processor to the graphics card to especially the solid state storage. So we'll get straight into the guide, but if you wanted to build a PC really similar to this for your own local LLM needs, I'll have that linked in the description down below, but otherwise, let's get into the video. The good news is that building a PC for local AI and LLM work is not that much different than just building a regular gaming PC, but it's critical that you choose the right components. Before we even get into the processors that are needed, one of the most critical parts you need to get right is storage. Not everyone can get a top-tier GPU with 24, 32, or more gigabytes of VRAM to hold the largest of AI models out there. And when a model is too big for the GPU, it can offload the remaining model weight to other components like the storage. Not to mention, loading such large models in the first place requires a fast SSD, otherwise you'll suffer long loading times and increased startup latency. That's why you need a lightning-fast PCIe Gen 5.0 SSD like the Samsung 9100 Pro for today's AI workloads. This is Samsung's best-in-class PCIe Gen 5 performance drive, with ultra-fast sequential read speeds up to 14,700 megabytes per second, massive sequential write speeds up to 13,400 megabytes per second, and high-speed random data retrieval up to 1,850K read IOPS and 2,600K write IOPS. All of that is to say is that the SSD specs found on the Samsung 9100 Pro will ensure the GPU you'll be using to run your AI work stays well fed to maximize tokens per second. So seeing as storage matters quite a bit when it comes to local AI work, that's why we have to go with an SSD that can offer no compromises, which is going to be a cornerstone of this local LLM PC build. Hence, why we're going with the Samsung 9100 Pro. So now that we have established the importance of an SSD for a local AI and LLM PC build, let's now go ahead and cover everything else you'll need. For the CPU, all you have to make sure is that it's new enough to support PCIe 5.0 for both the GPU and SSD storage like we just mentioned. But if you ever wanted to run any AI models off the CPU itself, then it's recommended to find one with 8 cores and 16 threads, because the more cores and threads, the merrier. But you don't have to go overkill with it, unless you know you need to. Then for the motherboard, once again, it's essential to choose one that'll not just support PCIe Gen 5.0 for both the GPU and the SSD, support our really fast read and write speeds here on the Samsung 9100 Pro, but avoids PCIe 5.0 lane splitting so your SSD and GPU don't rob each other of bandwidth. And then finally, for the GPU, the most important factor beyond the brands and beyond specific models at the end of the day is going to be how much VRAM that GPU has. Of course, some GPU brands run certain AI models better than others, so do look up what you need to run specifically before making a final choice. But once again, I want to stress, VRAM is king when it comes to choosing the graphics card for a local LLM PC build. And with that out of the way, let me show you guys a quick demonstration of the Samsung 9100 Pro in action when we load up a really large AI model onto our software. Okay, so I've got the PC here to the right of me. I'm gonna show you guys a quick example of that Samsung 9100 Pro in action for AI uses. So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and open up Task Manager so we can check out our SSD in motion right here. There we go, if we click on disk 0, we have our 9100 Pro, 2 terabyte right here, and right next to it, we'll open up an open source LLM called Jan. So here on Jan, I've downloaded a model. If we click here on Hub, and we click on downloaded, I went ahead and selected or downloaded this Qwen 3 coder that is 40 gigabytes in size. That is going to be larger than the 32 gigabytes of VRAM that we have on the RTX 5090, but nonetheless, we're gonna load it up anyways and see how the system handles it and how our Samsung 9100 Pro helps out. So we're gonna go ahead and click on new chat right here. We have our Qwen 3 Coder Next model that is 40 gigabytes in size, ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and just type in test. We are currently loading the 40 gigabyte AI model. Whoa, look at disk 0. It has spiked up in activity. And look at that. We just touched 10 gigabytes per second just for a moment on the Samsung 9100 Pro. But seriously, look, our memory is completely maxed out. Our GPU is preparing to load the model, and our SSD, that Samsung 9100 Pro, is doing its best to get this model on Jan. And how long was that? 20 seconds? For a 40 gigabyte model, that clearly was too big for our RTX 5090, because look, we just had that test prompt finally go through. It reached maximum utilization. The GPU memory down here is completely maxed out. The system memory is completely maxed out. And that's where we were fortunate to have the SSD on hand for loading up that humongous model that was otherwise quite hefty for our system to handle in the first place. So this could have taken much longer, but with that Samsung 9100 Pro, don't have to worry about it. And with that, back to the video. So as you can see, building an offline machine learning computer requires picking your components wisely. Hence why an SSD like the Samsung 9100 Pro offers zero compromises for the most demanding of AI workflows. So if you want to build this local AI and LLM PC build yourself, I'll have something similar linked in the description down below. And then for the choice of SSD, do consider the Samsung 9100 Pro. One choice, no compromises. So with that, that's all I've got to show off for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and this is the Skydival channel, signing out.